Hello and welcome back to my channel. It's Fatmata here from Traditionally Inspired Meaningful Art, and it's another Friday Sews. I got home and I decided that I don't want to miss updating you guys on what I've been working on, so here we are, better late than never. So I am going to share with you what I've been working on this past week, what I plan to do in this upcoming weekend, and also we'll do Thrifty Thursday. I'll show you a really awesome thing that I picked up at the thrift store recently, and we'll talk about what is to come, what you can expect, okay? So if you're interested, stay tuned. No surprise here. The thing that I've been working on all week has actually been the S9114 Trousers. I've been toiling these so that I could use my birthday gift fabric, the Mood Fabrics floral beautiful print, to make the trousers of my dreams. We've made a lot of progress, and it's kind of unfortunate in some ways and also fortunate in others. But I have made 3 different toiles and finally actually started sewing up the official trousers. Here's toile number 1. At the start of the year, the thing that scared me so much, or intimidated me I should say, is a fly front zipper. I have now done 4 trousers with fly front zippers. I think I'm going to actually document the journey in doing all of these toiles and showing you the makes on in a separate video, but right now just want to kind of show you the different iterations. So this was my first time trying out the trousers and actually extending the pant leg to make it a full length pant, and also widening the leg so that it could be more of a straight cut. And I think they turned out quite well. This is the alteration that I made on the first pair of trousers. I think often the trousers would have you kind of have the stop or the zipper kind of just line up. So maybe it would look something like this. But I like to extend it because it allows me to sort of pull the fabric over to ensure that the zipper tape and the zipper pull doesn't show, which, as I was looking at Instagram at some of the examples, I saw happening on some of the makes. This was also my first attempt at doing a slant pocket, so I redrafted the pocket to make it a slant pocket, and I tested that out just because I think I like that shape better on me. And I converted the double pleats in the front into a single deeper pleat. So I like the look of this. This was a navy cotton sateen that I picked up at G Street Fabrics in their sort of $2.97 dead stock fabric. So unfortunately I can't link it, but that's where that fabric is from. And then just this weekend, I went ahead and made a 3rd toile. Now you might remember this fabric from the same Mood fabric haul as the show-stopping fabric that I'm trying to use for this. And I remember being a bit disappointed when I got this, actually, because the colors were a lot more pastel than I was expecting them to be. And I figured, why not use it as a toile, get a nice maybe spring pair of trousers out of this. So it's the same longer, wider leg that I did, and I also altered the pocket and made it just a bit nicer, a bit more curved, if you will, to really lay flat. And I raised how high it went, so really nice little pocket. I finally got the fly front the right way. For some reason I kept cutting the interfacing wrong and would have to put the fly in the opposite direction. Finally got it right here, and this is my 3rd toile of this pair of trousers. I might have gotten to a point of a bit too much fitting, maybe an over-fitting land with these trousers. So they fit really nicely, they do, but I think maybe a bit snug. I also kind of curved in the waistband so that I wouldn't have a gaping in my back, and that was pretty nice on this one. I changed up, I wanted to try just different pleat methods. So for this one, I took the 2 pleats that generally face the same way, and then took the one on the farthest side and turned it inward so that they kind of meet And as you can see here, creates this little light tuck. I will go into details about this in that trouser video. I did a lot as far as like pattern matching so that it wouldn't look a little bit wonky. And because they have all of these like printed pieces that kind of look like eyes, I didn't want any of those in kind of terrible places. So I was very mindful about sort of pattern placement, if you will, for this pair. Then finally, the moment we had all been waiting for, I have been slowly working on this pair of trousers. It has taken many different forms. I spent a weekend just cutting out the different pieces of the fabric. I spent another day kind of not quilting, but piecing all of the fabrics together. I spent another day or evening cutting the fabric and all of that. It's been a long journey, and I'm kind of sad to report, I don't know that they're going to turn out the way that I imagined in my mind. One of the changes I made while I was piecing the fabric together, I initially was not going to concern myself with pattern matching the floral print. And then when I was going to actually piece it together, I sort of could not unsee it and desperately wanted to kind of try at least. So as you can see here, there is actually a seam right here, and that I tried my hardest to at least try and pattern match. So same as you go through, right here is a seam line. So I tried my best to pattern match, and I think it looks pretty darn good, especially if you back up a little bit. I even tried pattern matching along the side seams and all of that. I had a very clear vision. I want this print down the side. I wanted to include some piping detail right here to break up these prints. One of the things that I recognized when I was cutting out the fabric initially is that the fabric wasn't actually printed on grain. It has a geometric type of print on it, but this print wasn't laid out directly on grain. So for example, where you have this clear line, you would think, oh, that would match up perfectly with the grain line. It was a bit off, not drastically so, but enough that when you are piecing a lot of these pieces together, all of those minor faults in it created some bubbling of the fabric, unfortunately, which I then had to deal with in the sewing process. And then because I pattern matched when I wasn't initially intending to, the actual pant leg is not as long as I was hoping. And I don't know that I care to like add more to the bottom. I have two minds about this. I think I might go a culottes length. I haven't tried this on from last night. I just put this much together last night. I will show you a ton more detail when I do the separate video about this, so I won't languish too much, but we will see. I hope it turns out better than maybe I'm giving it credit for, or maybe I was just tired last night and couldn't see past some of the faults and it just not turning out the way I envisioned. So I'll go ahead and finish them. And I did the entire zipper fly. I sewed all of this actually without looking at the instructions. I had never sewn a zipper fly front zipper before the start of this year. And on my fourth pair, I sewed it. And I told Mimi G, I said, listen, I'm going to rely on you if I need it, but I'm gonna have to try and do this on my own. She gave me her blessing, and here I am. I did it. I think it looks so good. I am so proud of this. So if anything, I'm really excited that like I did a fly front zipper on my own without looking at instructions. I have never even looked at this pattern book. I've just always watched her videos. And this time I was like, I think muscle memory, I think you have it. And I did it. So that was really cool. But what I'm really excited about is the project that we are moving toward. Okay, I had previously told you about this gorgeous skirt that I cannot wait to make. Flounce overload. It's just the swishiest and most feminine and flirty thing that I've ever seen. Now, upon further review of the actual skirt, since I found it from its origins, I discovered that it's actually made out of cotton. For some reason, when I looked at it and saw how floaty it was, in my mind, it would have been made out of like a crepe or, I don't know, something more swishy. but it's made out of cotton, which then led me to think I should probably toile this. If for nothing else, it would allow me to know how, you know, like how much flounce I actually want the flounce to be. That probably didn't make any sense. What I mean is, when you cut a flounce or cut the circle for a flounce, the radius that you use will determine, when you hold it straight out, how drapey, like how much, you know, flounce you get. So I want to test it out to know how deep I should make the cuts on my circular pieces. Is any of this making sense? I hope so. But I also have decided what pattern I'm using for real this time, because I've changed it like 3 times now. But I remembered, as I was thinking back on some of my makes of last year, that I had sewn up Simplicity 8746. And this right here, my friends, is a wrap skirt. Upon further review of that skirt that I'm, you know, trying to be inspired by, it is in fact a wrap skirt. So I think I'm going to use one of these views as a base guide, and there of course are going to be some edits I need to make to get it to look the way that I want, but I think this will be perfect. So you've heard it here first, Simplicity 8746. That's what we're doing. That's that. I hope. I really do hope, because I'm tired of changing it. So in honor of all of the toiles that I've made for the pants, I've decided that it would be befitting to at least try and toile the skirt in a cotton, so I can get that, you know, get all of the dimensions and the cuts that I want and kind of figure that out. So I went in my stash and I found these 2 Ankara fabrics. So these were gifted to me like 5 years ago. I think I got these during my wedding, and I love this one in particular. I think it goes with the current collection quite well. And then this was another one that I was gifted. So they have that same sort of brown maroon base color running through it, with this one having this pop of like teal and the white, and this one having the white and the purple. I just think they're gorgeous. If you know the designer Ulla Johnson, then hopefully this might be striking some inspiration, but it reminds me of like a pairing that Ulla Johnson would do, and that's a designer that I absolutely adore. So why not give it a try? This is 100% cotton. These are pre-washed, that's why they're all crinkly and unironed. So I think I'm gonna go ahead and use this as fabric to toile. Now, you might be thinking, well, Falmata, the fabric that you told us you want to make the skirt out of is not a cotton, so why would you toile it in a cotton? And what are you going to do about that fabric? Those are all really great questions. And you're right. I am toiling it in a cotton because, one, cotton is a lot more manageable and easy to use, and also because the original skirt is made out of cotton. So I just want to give it a go in its intended form. And because it's a bit easier to manage, I think I can actually do it in a reasonable amount of time. And what I'm really testing out is toiling it to see if the flounce equations that I'm going to be using make sense for the amount of flowiness I want in the flounce. You know? I'm not necessarily expecting the 2 skirts to look or feel the same at all, but if I feel confident making those cuts because the other fabric is very precious to me, then I think I would consider this toile to have been successful. And then also, this is just going to be a gorgeous skirt, so I'm going to wear this anyways because I would love to get to wear this and see how it turns out. Hopefully I'll have some updates for you in the next Friday. So if you haven't already, feel free to subscribe and follow along for the journey. Now we're gonna do Thrifty Thursday. So this is a little segment that I like to do where I talk about things that possibly I have gotten in through my thrift runs. Like, I love thrifting. It fills a special place right up in here, okay? So last Friday sews, I talked to you guys about the fact that I'm thinking about picking up knitting and just looking at different inspirations because I have this gorgeous sort of like sunburst yarn that I had thrifted a while ago that I want to make a vest out of. Well, it's like I spoke it into the universe, and then the universe responded to me. It said, well, listen, what we have for you is a gift. Let me show you what the universe gave me. For $5.99, which on a Thrifty Thursday day is an additional 25% off for like, so that's like $4.50. I picked up this. It's an introduction to knitting set. It has, I think, about 4 different knitting patterns in here. It has like, look at that. You can make a monster, a scarf, a hat. It has color coordinated photos. Look at this. I'm really excited about it. I think I miss the days of like a book, right? And the thing that I think I want to make is, I think this could serve as like the base of my vest, right? Like that's a crop tube top, but it could serve as the base of my vest. And I have a book that tells me. And inside, I have, so it's like a starter kit. I don't know what any of these things do, but I feel so lucky to have them. And new knitting needles. I have knitting needles, but hello. I'm so excited about this. It just like fell into my lap. I was minding my own business, perusing the aisles as I do. And the universe said, knit, you can do this. And I'm responding, thank you, I will. So hopefully you'll be seeing me make use of these items fairly soon. We'll see how things go. I have other things to do as well. In addition to that, when I was looking through the materials or fabric sections, I also found this. Look at it. Look at it. I don't think you're actually going to get the color of this. Look at it. It just feels so gorgeous. It feels almost like a charmeuse, and it's 2 yards. I think I picked it up for about $4. It has such a beautiful drape. What I think I'm going to be using this for is in my bias cut module. There will be a module all about me sewing the Sicily slip dress and some bias cut skirts that I have in mind. And I want to use this as like wearable toile fabric. I just love it so much. It's so gorgeous. So those were the 2 things that I picked up recently from the thrift store. Oh, what I've recently shared with you is my Make 9. Thank each and every one of you who responded or made a comment or gave that video a like. I have loved seeing some of your encouragement in the comments down below. I'll link that video if you haven't already seen it. Check out the 9 patterns that I'm hoping to get done this year. Now, I know there's been a lot of conversation in the community about the Make 9 challenge, maybe how challenging it is, and also how motivating it could be for some. For me, I think of it as motivation. One of the ways that I am hoping that I will inspire myself to actually sew up the patterns in my Make 9 is that I've put them readily available in my sewing room. I have this basket. It lives in the shelf that is in the sewing space. And this is where my Make 9 patterns are, as well as some of my honorable mentions back here. So patterns that I'm currently working on or that are, I won't say tried and true, but easily hackable reside here. And that way, when I'm thinking of new patterns or as I come up with my new collections, I have these top of mind, and then I'm going to be building my plans from there. So that's the plan. It's been really nice just having them easily accessible. The rest of my patterns are not in a very accessible place, so it really will motivate me because sometimes I don't want to pull out the large bin where they reside and they are not as visible to me. So that's the way that I'm trying to encourage myself to do my Make 9. If you've developed a Make 9 for yourself, how are you going to try and stay motivated to get through yours? I'd love to know in the comments down below. Let me know what you think of my trouser debacle. Is it really a debacle at all? I know that there's so much that I've gained from toiling all of these. I just don't want to get close to burning out this early on in the year, because I've done so much hard work on a pair and the initial vision that I had in my mind for something didn't turn out the way that I would have hoped. I know that happens. It happens to all of us. It has happened to me before as well. But I saw how deflated I felt last night. It could also be lack of sleep. So I will revisit this later today, but I do think I'm just kind of ready for something else. I've been working for about like 3 weeks on trousers. So I'm good on trousers, and I'm ready to try working on the skirt. I think I'm only gonna do the one toile, hopefully take enough notes, and then just make it. So let me know if you're looking forward to seeing that. I am really excited about showing up here in this space on this channel for myself, and hopefully you all are enjoying it as well. But it's been really enjoyable. Please continue to like, subscribe, and if you know any other creatives out there who would really be benefited by this sort of, I don't know, inspiration, entertainment, please do feel free to share this video with your friends and family as well, if you feel like they could use a bit of a creative boost. Have a wonderful weekend, you all. Stay creative. Bye.